Hey everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles. And I've got another, I guess this is like a 2-page wonder, perhaps. And this is very similar to some other ones we've made, just a little different size. It's made with 8.5 by 11 papers that I've trimmed, and I did print them on both sides. If you don't have digital papers or 8.5 by 11, you can just cut your scrapbook paper to the size if you'd like to make this with us. So this is the folio, and I'm thinking of this as a gift for yourself or for someone else. But I have an idea of how to use it too. So you'll see this one says January, so we'll get to that in a minute. But I have some really pretty, a new paper kit, Flowers of the Month, that has one of these cards for each month of the year. So this one's January. And I, on the inside cover, just put 2 little pockets. And then you're going to see, I actually installed something we made in the last video, so I'll show you that. But this is like for your January kind of maybe to-do list, or perhaps thoughts, affirmations, things that happened during the month, or things you want to jot down. And also a little scrappy pad so that you could write even more if you want to, or tear these off and put them in the pockets with things in January. And then on this side, we have a nice pocket. And I made this in the last video using the flat lunch bags and installed it in this little folio. So if you want to do that for yours, you'll have to go back and watch that video to remember how to do that. But I just installed it there. And then the back cover has a nice pocket, and I put another little mini journal, and I've shown you guys these before. This is where I just stapled some papers together, but there's a lot on the back side of white for writing space. Again, thinking kind of a mini journaling experience, or to make lists, or just whatever for the month of January. And I put a few special words. Always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder. This was that Mary Oliver quote, keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. I'm thinking for the new year, right? These are nice words. And then you can do hard things. So I put this fun little heartwood charm there. I got those on Amazon, so I'll link that in the description, as well as the paper kits. So this is the finished paper kit that I told you guys about in the last video, and I believe it was Patricia. I hope I got that right. I apologize if I am remembering incorrectly. The viewer made the suggestions of blooms in winter, and I loved it and named the kit that. So thank you. And thanks for all y'all's comments with suggestions. So I think the kit turned out pretty. I changed it up a little bit. Some of the coloring I wasn't real happy with. I told you guys I still had some work to do, and I added some extra pages and things. So we're going to play with it today along with these flower cards. Let me show you those. So it's a really small kit, and it just is 2 pages, but 12 flowers with 12 cards that each have a flower. So I guess there are 12 flowers, but January through December, and it's the flower that corresponds with that month. So like the carnation for January, it says devotion, love, royalty, I guess is what it means. And then for February, we have the violet, virtue, modesty, humility. And we're going to make the February one next, because I'm planning on making 12 and then use these kind of as my monthly folio journals this year instead of a great big journal. I'm sure I'll do lots of big journals just to have, but for my personal journaling, this is what I'm going to do this year. So I'm excited, and I love flowers. And then real quick on the kit, there's a whole bunch of these pages. They're the different florals, right? And then some that have some stripes, and some have the stripes or the circles or things underneath of the florals, right? So that was fun. Then those strips of music, some music page that's been decorated a little bit. This was a new one that I did. Kind of made the floral images a little transparent. Did that chair again on smaller music for you. This is actually the freebie on Buy Me a Coffee. So if you're interested, or you want to see kind of the color palette of this kit, That'll be linked in the description. Go grab that, and it's free. It's the set of tags. It's also in the kit if you buy it on Etsy, so you don't have to download twice or from a different site. And then quite a few dictionary pages as well in various formats. And there's 20 pages altogether. Oh, I did that as well, so you have some more smaller if you want the smaller ones and struggle with your printer. That isn't all the papers because I have some here that I've printed and started playing with. Let's get started. So for this project, you're going to start with basically 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11. And I printed mine on both sides, so print whatever you want, use whatever paper you have. You can, like I said, use scrapbook paper, and I'm going to give you the measurements, and that'll be in the description as well. So all kinds of stuff in that video description for you guys. So your first 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, just cut it off on the 8.5 inch side at 7 inches. This is going to be the base of our folio, and then you'll have this to add some pockets and things if you would like. Take your next, and I'm just showing you guys how I cut mine. Your next 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and again, cut it off at 7 inches on that 8.5 side. So chop it off so you'll have 2 strips that you can do whatever with. And then this is the piece we're going to use. You're going to then cut that 7 by 11 piece of paper on the 11 inch side at 4 1/4 inches. 4 1/4. And then you're going to have this piece if you want to use it for some backing or some things. On my prototype, I ended up picking a different paper. I printed this on my 90-pound cardstock, and it's certainly sturdy enough, but I just decided that the back panel here, because I put that little journal in there, I just wanted another layer. Don't have to do that, but I did layer it, and that would be a great use for this paper if you decide to. But these are the 2 that we're going to use. So very simple scoring. Like I said, it's similar to one-page wonders that we've done in the past, like with 12 by 12 paper. Just measurements are a little different and put together a little differently. Okay, score on the 11 inch side of the 11 by 7 piece of paper at 4 inches and at 9 inches. Set that aside. And then your 4 1/4 by 7 inch piece, you're going to score at 1/2 inch on that 4 1/4 side. And that's all the scoring. Very simple. All right. This is fun, fun, fun. I love playing with new paper. So we're going to fold on those score lines. Make sure everything's lining up nice and neat. There we go. Score. And then also this one. And what I think is kind of fun about how the papers layer on here is, let me remind myself how I did that really quick. We're going to glue this in by this hinge, but so you get this kind of layered look. So even if you don't use one of the wraparound pockets that we made in the last video, I love how that looks, right? The layers, you still have it just with the papers. Isn't that pretty? So that's the measurements that caused it to kind of cascade like that, I guess, or layer like that. Before I glue anything, I am going to ink around my papers. As I said, I'm making these for me. I am going to use them. That is my commitment to myself. I am going to do a better job throughout the year. And I thought with these smaller kind of folios, I'm really good at making big journals, and I have journals that I work in. I do a lot of art, but I jump around and I'm not very consistent. And I would like this year to have at least a little bit that I do each month that I can then go back and look at 2025, right? That is my goal. I love to journal. I love to write. And so I just think this is going to work for me. At the end of the year, or after we get a few going, I may come up with maybe a fun box or something to keep these in. And maybe we could make that together too. So let me give that some thought and what that might look like. And I may use different papers as I go through the year. I'm not sure if I'm going to make all of them with the blooming in winter papers or blooms in winter, but I might, because again, I don't think these are just for winter time. I think they're pretty. But I'm definitely going to use those flowers of the month cards on the front of each one. I think I'll enjoy having that consistency as I go. And I think I'm going to use the same design. I do think I'm going to do that, definitely. And like I said, I may go ahead over the next few weeks and go ahead and make all 12 so that I have them ready to go and no excuses that I didn't get them made and they're not ready. I think this would be, what a fabulous gift for somebody, right? You could give them just one and let them get their toe in, but if it's somebody that really likes to journal and you wanted to give a really nice gift, I mean, it would take a while. It's going to take a while to make all 12, but they do come together. They're not hard. They're not difficult. So I think you'll see once we put this one together that if you weren't talking and showing other things, they would probably come together pretty quick. It's easy scoring and easy folding. And you could even wait to add the extra decorations and things. You could just get it assembled, put the month on there, and then decorate a little bit during the month even. And that'd be fun. Okay, that one's ready. This one's ready. Now, it goes this way. This is your cover. And you can decide if when you open it, you know, and the layer that you see here, do you want to open it and see the, in my case, the music sheet, or do I want to open it and on the layers, see the layers like this, and then it's going to turn like that. And I think I'm going to do mine that way. I want to see these pretty yellow and white paper on this side. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. Okay, so we're going to add glue just to this hinge, and we're going to glue it to the right of this score line right here. Make sure you have the smaller section. We scored at 4 and at 9. This is that little bit that's left over. Make sure you have your paper turned the correct way. All right, I'm going to use my wet white glue. My daily go-to. This is a Lineco brand PVA glue. I get it on Amazon. And I put it in those little tiny bottles. I'm going just to the right of that score line. And I'm actually coming over just probably a smidge more than I need to or normally would, just because I wanted to see a touch more of that yellow there. Okay, cuteness. It's so cute. It goes like that. This is going to be that pocket, and you can put whatever you want in the pocket. Like I said, I like having the little mini journal in there because I'm going to use this, like I said, for some writing and journaling. And you don't even have to make yours. Like I used little scrapbook papers and just folded them in half, white on the back, so I have writing. You could just use copy paper, maybe you know, cover it with a little, you know, if you wanted to make a little cover for it and just staple it together, something simple. Make another little pad of paper. It doesn't have to be super duper fancy. Okay, February is that violet, and see how even when you add in the other colors, it still looks cute. And this, I did use that neutral stripy polka dotted paper that's in the Blooms in Winter kit to back each of these cards. I thought it was just a nice neutral that would work well. But again, if you don't have these papers, decorate the front however you would like. You can certainly leave it just the way it is too. Okay, so this is going to be my February one. Open it up. Now these strips, this is where we can easily make those little pockets to have space for a few more little pieces. This is 4 inches wide. I'm going to cut 2 of these, and this is where we trimmed off on that 8.5 inch side at 7 inches. This is a 1.5 inch strip, and I'm going to trim these at 3 3/4. So it's 3 3/4, 3 3/4 this way by 1.5. Sometimes I get going too fast. Okay. And I'm going to add some ink to these. Now, if you want to, you could, you know, put a little notch in them. I am not going to. I don't feel the need. They're pretty narrow pockets. I'm going to bring it down so something a little taller can fit in that one. And in the prototype, like I said, I also wrote you can do hard things, because I'm just thinking about, you know, it's a new year. And sometimes we set goals, or I try to do like a word of intention. I haven't decided what 2025 is going to be yet. 2024 was intentional. I wanted to be very intentional about my decision making and what I was doing. I just added glue to those 3 sides. And it has served me well. I've had a lot of change in a good way this year. So what I may do is, once I come up with my word of intention and put it here in January, then I might remind myself by putting it on one of these pockets or one of these pages as I go. So I used the pocket that we made with the little paper bag that fit. The other ones, what are they, that we just made? I'm sitting here. I think they're too big. Let's see. I mean, they coordinate because they are made with the same papers, but I just didn't fold them the same. So I'm not going to install either of these in this folio, but aren't they cute? And I love how they all coordinate. I will probably make one for this because I really like the idea of having that pocket and that flip out. You know what? We'll just use a piece of paper and make a different flip out for now. Since I don't have one of those made, we can do that. Why not? Before I do that though, let's just finish the folio. So we have this here then for the little journal. And what did I do? I think on the other one, I then also had that journaling paper. And I'm just using, I have this from a book. It's like the title, or right before the title page of a book. And the color was right. Coffee dyed paper, tea dyed paper, any paper you want that is neutral and you can write on would be good to layer on here. Whoops. This one, like I said, on the prototype, I had the sheet music turned the other way, so I put the panel here. On this one, I'm going to put the panel on this side because I don't want to cover up those pretty flowers. There's always, you know, a method to my madness. And then we'll make a little flippy for the heck of it, because why not, right? Okay. And when I tear my books apart to get book page and things, if there's any paper like this in the books, I make sure I save that as well, because it has this lovely thickness and texture to it. And I think it coordinates really well. Doesn't that look nice? Now, all I did with the other one is I just tore a piece of paper to go there, one of these. I'm I'm going to decide on that in a minute after I make the flip to see. Now this is where I was saying is I lined the back. I just cut, or I think I tore it, but it is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, just to give this a little more thickness. So this is where I was thinking a portion of this paper would work really well. And I can choose if I want it to be the music, or if I'm going to flip it over and have the flowers. And I think I'm going to do the music. I chose the one that already had flowers on printed on it, and that's in the kit. But this one, it's okay. I could have grabbed one of the papers that I've only printed on one side for this portion. But in the spirit of the folio basically being made with 2 pieces of paper, this fits. Okay. So that piece you had left over where you cut off the 4 1/4 section, 4 1/4 by 7, this piece fits perfectly if you want to give the back of your folio just a little more stability. Okay, now the flip, and the other one was made with a lunch bag, a flat lunch bag, is definitely not in the 2 pages, but we're going to just come up with something. I'm reaching over behind me where I set these papers, and I'm thinking about using some of the dictionary to make it. All right. I'm going to tear it right here. I'll tell you how wide I ended up tearing it. It is 7 1/2. Now this one is 8 1/2, and I know I need it. I want it to be, of course, shorter than this panel. So I'm just gonna eyeball, come up that much. Whew, barely shorter. I'm gonna tear off a little more, and I'll give you the measurement here in just a second. That just wasn't enough, but I will have these for lots of fun projects. Okay, so I am gonna make the flip out of a piece of paper that is 7 1/2 by 6. And this is white. I didn't print on that side, but because I'm wanting more journaling space, I'm okay with that. Now the issue here is if I glue it down, I am covering up the pretty yellow flowers, which is what I was trying to avoid. What to do? Maybe we'll do this. Let's make it so we get to see some of the flowers. I'm going to tear it, and I'm just choosing where to tear it based on where the dictionary page was. All right, final measurement is 5 1/2 by 6. It's smidge off, but it will be fine. So we are going to have this flip open like that just for some more writing space. And on the other one, we had that scrappy pad of paper, and we had the pocket. So I definitely like the idea of making the around the edge pockets with the lunch bags. For this project, you just have to make sure you fold the bag in such a way that it will fit the size of these papers. And if you don't want this to be that bright white, just print it on both sides. All right, I'm going to install this so we do get a tuck spot here. So that means I'm going to run glue right down the edge, right here, and up both sides. Now by running it down the edge, it's going to glue it to this side. This side is still going to open up nicely. I'm just making sure I didn't have any glue do anything weird. Okay. Cuteness. I like it. And we can grab the papers if we want to, and we can do some more decorating and really make it look cute. So I'm just using up some of the pieces I just have printed and I've been playing with. I do lots of test runs when I make a new kit, and that's why I may end up making all 12 of mine with this paper kit, just so that I can use the things that I've printed. We'll do some other projects, I'm sure, with this paper kit as we head into January and February as well, but so pretty. I love those dots. Okay. Now, again, if you grab the freebie, and it is the page of tags. Ooh, I want to use some of those too. It's these page of tags. They fit nicely in these pockets. The height and size they are, that's just a folded over piece of the paper so that I can use it to decorate or embellish something later. So these are a great option for more things to write on, or if you wanted to do some tiny photos, quotes, things like that for the pockets. So I'm not going to put anything in mine right now just because I'm going to work on some other things. I want something to go in here, and I think I want it to be one of these cards so that we can see some of these pretty images. So I'm going to just cut out this one. I think these turned out so cute. And you guys need to let me know what you think of this paper kit. If you like it, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. If you don't like it, just please be nice. I'm not saying I don't want to hear feedback, but if it's just not your style, whatever, that's okay. I understand. Not everybody's gonna like everything, but if you do like it, let me know. Okay. Oh, look, I was thinking I was gonna have to fold it, but it fits in there. How cute is that? I love it. Okay, I still have some of these little journals that I've made, and I'm gonna grab one of them and decide which one. Use the threads too. I have these two, and it's February. Do I want polka dots? I like that. Or the I'm gonna do the polka dots, and it's kind of plain, so maybe we will decorate it just a touch. Oh, will it be fun to put the chair on here? Let's see how the chair looks. And I love crafting with some sheet music, and I found at a yard sale one time. I got really lucky, and there was somebody selling like books, and I guess one of their kids had been a played different instruments. Anyway, they had all kinds of sheet music and old books and all kinds of things, like 50 cents $1, 5 for $1, those types of things. So I got a big pile of sheet music, and I've been working my way through it. Okay, we're gonna glue this down. So hopefully you'll find, if you decide to get the Blooms in Winter kit, there's a few pieces that you can make different ephemera and things with to really get your projects going. And of course, add other things that you have in your stash. I rarely do I just use a single kit. I had these packaged for my craft sale, one of my craft shows, and decided I would rather use them myself. They didn't sell. They sold a few years ago really well, and this last season not so much, which is okay, because I can use them for all kinds of things, and I know what they're supposed to be. And I think sometimes that's the issue. Okay, I wish I had my hot glue gun plugged in, but I don't. We are going to stick this down just with some wet white glue, and it will hold. It just needs to dry. And y'all know I'm not the most patient, especially when I'm on camera, waiting for things to dry. But now we have a little fiber there. All right. We have our flip out. I'm not going to do these yet, or I don't have any of the little tags cut out right now. I'm going to wait and put my word of the year on the pocket once I select it. I do think I want to, we'll use these since they're here. This is really, really thin, so I'm probably going to wrap it around a few times. Let's see if I have enough. I'm going to use these, make it look cute. Yeah, that'll work. And we'll put a heart on here as well. That could be something else I kind of bring through for the year maybe. Because I like hearts. And of course it's February, so there'll be Valentine's. Okay. La-di-da, let's see. Goodness gracious, come on. Sometimes when you're working with yarns, threads, fibers, whatever, that are super thin like this, it is sometimes hard to get your fingers around them. Okay, which little heart do I want to use? It definitely has to have an opening big enough, right? And it doesn't make me crazy trying to put it through while I'm here on camera. But I do like this one. Let's see if I can make it happen. I could thread it or use my threader, but I would have to go find it. Do you hear my puppet up? One of my pups, and that sounds like Harriet. Oh, Matthew's joining her. Harry and Matt. It's, yep, I was going to say, it's a delivery. And we're getting close to Christmas, and my husband was a last-minute shopper, which is totally fine. But it is, we've had a few deliveries. I'll just put it that way. I'll just say there's Amazon and others have come to our door a few times in the last little bit, and the dogs are protecting us. Okay, I got it. Yay. All right. Whoa, don't pull it out, Pam. Okay. Let's see if we can make this work. I don't know what I'm doing here. It probably has to loop back through again, doesn't it? Poop. Maybe. No, it doesn't. We'll just tie it on like this. We'll just make a loop-de-dee-loop through here. All right. And tie it one more time, and I will be done. I'm sure it's just riveting watching me try to tie something on when I'm thinking through how I want to do it too. Depending on where the holes are on these hearts, you kind of have to adjust. And it probably would have helped if I had trimmed this really long tail off, but I wasn't sure what I was doing yet. Oh, how cute is that? Let's see. I hope you guys agree. I think it's cute. All right, we're gonna cut that thread. We're gonna cut that thread, and I think I'm gonna leave those long danglies there for now. I may put a little bead or something else on there later. Okay, let's see how it turned out. There's January, here's February. Still have a few things I wanna do there. This one opens like this, and we have an extra flip. I did not decorate that page at all. This is still drying, but I think it's dry enough to slide it in that pocket. How about, I think you guys know, I don't know why, I think it just makes it look like it's like a little faux pad of paper when you put a little strip like there. Maybe we need it a little thinner. just because I really am planning to use these as maybe even just like bullets of things that I'm doing or going on that month, or things I'm thinking about, something like that. Or I may put some of my favorite thoughts and quotes and stuff on here, and then in the little mini journal and stuff, kind of write about what's going on. We'll see. We'll see how it comes together. Very sweet. I love how these turned out. I hope you do too. I hope you'll make some, even if you don't make 12. I will be sure to, once I figure out how I'm going to house them or what I'm going to do, I'll be sure to share that idea with you guys too. All right. I hope you have a great day. Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Bye.